Hello everyone, this is Johny, the Hindu's International Affairs Editor. In today's video, we will look at the rise and expansion of the Islamic State-Khorasan, the terrorist organization that claimed responsibility for the March 22 attack in Moscow. In June 2015, a few months after the Islamic State announced its Vilayat Khorasan, the Taliban wrote a letter to the IS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The Taliban's demand was that the IS should stop recruiting jihadists in Afghanistan. Both the Taliban and the Islamic State were insurgents at that time. The letter, signed by the then political committee chief of the Taliban, Mullah Akhtar Mansoor, said there was room for only one flag and one leadership in the fight to re-establish Islamic rule in Afghanistan. Mullah Mansoor would later become the Taliban's leader and be killed by a US airstrike in May 2016. The Islamic State faction, which came to be known as the Islamic State-Khorasan, did not stop recruiting disgruntled Taliban fighters, nor did it stop launching terror attacks across Afghanistan. Today, the Taliban are no longer an insurgency. They are the government in Kabul, and the IS Khorasan has emerged as the most powerful branch of the Islamic State networks. It has training centers in the Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. It has recruited thousands of disgruntled Central Asians. It has carried out a number of terror attacks in recent months, including the January twin bombings in Kerman, Iran, a strike on a church in Istanbul, and a massive attack on a concert hall in the outskirts of Moscow on March 22nd. Armed gunmen opened fire at the Crocus City Concert Hall and threw explosives, killing at least 137 people and wounding nearly 200 others in one of the worst terrorist attacks in Russia in years. Russian authorities have arrested and charged 4 Tajik nationals for the attack. Now let's look at the organization that is behind this attack. When the Islamic State announced the formation of the Khorasan Vilayat in January 2015, referring to a geographical area encompassing Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Central Asia, the group's immediate strategy was to exploit divisions within the main jihadist groups in the region. It appointed Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan commander Hafiz Saeed Khan as its leader and former Afghan Taliban commander Abdul Rauf Alisa as his deputy. Both were killed in US airstrikes later. The Islamic State-Khorasan attracted members from different militant organizations such as Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jamaat Dawa, the Haqqani Network, and the Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan into its fold. The ISK declared its allegiance to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the self-declared Khalifa who was killed by an American strike in 2019 in Syria. In operational tactics and ideology, it followed its parental organization, which is the Islamic State. The key goal is to establish Islamic rule in the province, which here is Afghanistan and Central Asia. And to meet that objectives, they are ready to wage jihad. In a video message released in 2015, the Islamic State-Khorasan stated, "There is no doubt that Allah the Almighty has blessed us with jihad in the land of Khorasan since a long time ago. And it is from the grace of Allah that we fought any disbeliever who entered the land of Khorasan. All of this is for the sake of establishing the Sharia." When the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria came under pressure in 2015 and 2016, the core organization shifted its focus to Afghanistan. The Islamic State was losing territories to Kurdish militias in Syria and government forces and Shia militias in Iraq. In Afghanistan, which at that time was a fractured country battered by civil war between the Taliban and the Afghan government, the Islamic State saw an opportunity to rebuild its organization. Having built its base in eastern Afghanistan, the Islamic State-Khorasan issued propaganda messages calling on Muslim youth across Asia to join the group. Many radicalized youth, including dozens from India, traveled to Afghanistan to either join the Islamic State ranks or live an Islamic life under the Caliphate's rule. But this upset the Taliban. Taliban did not want its monopoly of violent jihad to be challenged by any other organization. The Taliban are a tribal, nationalist, militant force backed by Pakistan, whereas the IS-Khorasan doesn't believe in national borders. They are fundamentally global jihadists fighting for a transnational Islamist caliphate. So you have serious differences between these two organizations. These ideological and operational differences led to open clashes between the Islamic State-Khorasan and the Taliban. When the Taliban seized Kabul and took over prisons in August 2021, they released several of their members but executed IS-Khorasan militants and its leaders. Currently, Shabab al-Muhajir is the emir of the IS-Khorasan. Why did they target Russia? The US has carried out a number of targeted attacks, killing several of IS-Khorasan leaders. In April 2017, then President Donald Trump ordered his troops to drop the mother of all bombs, the most powerful non-nuclear bomb on IS caves in eastern Afghanistan. But despite the United States' targeted bombings and the Taliban's counterattacks on the ground, the IS-Khorasan has continued to expand its operations. When the Taliban established its regime in Kabul, the IS-Khorasan proclaimed that it is the real jihadist outfit. Militants from Central Asia who were part of the Islamic State Caliphate swelled the IS-Khorasan's ranks after they relocated to Afghanistan. The IS-Khorasan also launched propaganda videos targeting Afghanistan's ethnic minorities such as Tajiks and Uzbeks who were excluded by the Taliban's Pashtun-only regime. Russia, its President Vladimir Putin, and Iran emerged as the key enemies in the Islamic State's propaganda videos. After the Moscow attack, the IS said its soldiers had killed a lot of Christians. It also said Russia had blood of the Muslims on its hands, referring to Moscow's past military operations in Afghanistan, Chechnya, and Syria. Why does the IS hate Russia and Iran? The answer lies in Syria. See, the IS was founded in Syria in 2014 amid the country's civil war. It had grand ambitions, which were practically thwarted by Russia's 2015 military intervention in Syria. The IS had captured eastern Syrian cities of Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor in 2013 and 2014, and it wanted to topple the regime of President Bashar al-Assad and capture Damascus, the seat of power of the Umayyad Caliphate in the 7th century. But Russia's intervention, along with help from Iran, which is a Shia majority republic, made sure that President Assad of Syria survived the civil war. In 2017, when the IS captured the ancient city of Palmyra in Syria, Russians fought along with the Syrian troops to liberate the city. Subsequently, the Islamic State's physical caliphate was crushed by a host of forces such as Kurds, Iraqis, Syrians, and Iran-trained Shia militias with air cover from Russia and the United States. Now, the IS-Khorasan sees Christian Russia and rejectionist Iran as its main enemies. They call Iran rejectionist because the Islamic State accuses the Shia population of rejecting the first three caliphs of Sunni Islam. Today, the Islamic State-Khorasan wants to be the center of global jihadism. Back-to-back attacks in different places, from Istanbul to Kerman to Moscow, suggest that the group is on a path to revival, 6 years after its physical caliphate was destroyed. Chaos in West Asia, a base in Afghanistan, and foot soldiers from Central Asia are all helping the group expand its operations with a highly sophisticated internet propaganda. Thank you very much. For more such videos, please subscribe to The Hindu.